Hello student, I am Assistant Professor Dr. Pallavi Chetan Patil from Sarat College. Here our subject is Cost and Works Accounting 2. Welcome in TYBCOM. Last year what you learned? Cost and Works Accounting 1. What is the first chapter for this syllabus? Yes, overheads. Now tell me, what is the meaning of overheads? Yes, it's a indirect expenses. Some students give me the answer that indirect expenses is the overheads. Yes, you are definitely right. Just read this. What is the meaning of overhead? Overhead refers to the ongoing business expenses, not directly. I use the word not directly, जो directly use नहीं होते हैं, attributed to create a product or services, जो final product में directly use नहीं होते हैं, वो होते हैं indirect expenses or indirect cost, or we can say it's a overheads. Okay. In short, overhead is any expenses. Read the word again. We use the word any expenses. कोई भी expenses हो, overheads वही होते हैं. Okay. In short, overhead is any expenses incurred to support the business while not being directly related to a specific product or services. Final product में जो direct expenses होते हैं वो डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस में जाते हैं, और जो इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस होते हैं या फिर जो भी इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट होता है वो होता है ओवरहेड. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. ओके, नाउ सी व्हाट वी सी हियर. हियर इज टू चेयर्स. नाउ टेल मी क्या क्या लगेगा फॉर मेकिंग दिस चेयर्स. यस, वुड, फोम, definitely. Someone can say Femicol, worker for making these chairs. Yes, you are absolutely right. But all these are the direct expenses. Okay. क्या ये चेयर बनाने में किसी और का भी हेल्प लिया होगा? Yes, definitely. मैनेजर होगा, सुपरवाइजर, right? So all these are the background workers. Okay. Now take one example. Pen, your favorite pen. पेन बनाने के लिए मुझे क्या क्या लगेगा फैक्ट्री में? ओके, फर्स्ट वन इज प्लास्टिक, इंक, डेफिनेटली फॉर मेकिंग दिस पेन्स. एंड अनदर थिंग, समवन सेज इंक, नीप, कैप ऑफ पेन. Yes, definitely all these are the direct expenses. Okay, to make this pen, you can see this for making this pen, all whatever we see is the direct expenses. Okay, take another example, or we can distribute all these things very clearly. What is the meaning of indirect material? Okay, what is the meaning of material? First see, material we use in the production process. हमें पेन बनाने के लिए प्लास्टिक तो लगेगा ना, कोई भी चीज लगेगी, वो होता है आपका material. Okay, however they are not directly traceable in the product or job. वो होता है इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल. ओके, जो डायरेक्टली फाइनल प्रोडक्ट में यूज नहीं होता है. पेन बनाने के लिए जो डायरेक्टली यूज होगा वो होता है आपका डायरेक्ट मटेरियल. और इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल व्हाट एवर वी कैन नॉट सी इन दिस पेन, ओके, वो होता है आपका इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी कैन सी द इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल. सम एग्जांपल्स आर हियर. ग्लोव्स फॉर मेकिंग और मोल्डिंग दिस चेयर और पेन. वी वांट ग्लोव्स, टूल्स, क्लीनिंग सप्लायर्स, हेलमेट, ओवरऑल्स, office chairs, desks, all these things are our indirect material, because all these things we want but not directly connected with the final product. Okay, we cannot see in this pen gloves. No, we can't see. Then what is the direct material? Shimmer in the furniture. Yes, it's a direct. We can see directly. Company cotton in a shirt. शर्ट में हम लोग देख सकते हैं किससे बना है, कॉटन से बना है, तो इट्स अ डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट. ओके, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल लगेगा उसके लिए कॉटन. रबर इन अ टायर, फैक्ट्री लेदर इन, जो टायर में रबर लगता है क्या हम उसको देख सकते हैं? यस, इट्स अ डायरेक्ट मटेरियल. देन ओके, लेदर इन अ शूज कंपनी. यस, वी कैन सी. नाउ वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द इनडायरेक्ट लेबर. लेबर क्या होता है? वर्कर्स होते हैं जो कंपनी में फैक्ट्री में काम करते हैं ना, वो होते हैं. Who is worker? Workers who are not directly involved in the conversion of the material into finished good. Finished good बनाने के लिए जो finally use नहीं होते ना, which is not directly connect with final product, these workers are called as indirect labor. Okay, take examples. We can distribute very clearly. see indirect labor, in the indirect labor, accountant. Can we see the accountant here? No, definitely not. Accountant, salesman, maintenance personnel, administrative assistant, office staff पेन में directly connected होता है क्या? नहीं, but we want office staff. Okay, indirect labor is office staff, administrative assistant. It means, okay, marketing executive. All these are the your indirect labor. Marketing executive marketing को जो करता है क्या हमें वो उसे समझ में आता है? नहीं, then it's a indirect labor. Now just see direct labor. What is the meaning of direct labor now? जो डायरेक्टली लेबर में ऐड होते हैं वो होते हैं डायरेक्ट लेबर. Factory workers, yes, for making this pen we want factory, and for the factory we want laborers, we want factory workers. Okay, engineers, yes, definitely engineer is our direct labor. After that, quality control, machine operators, painters, raw material delivery people, all raw material deliveries people, all these are the direct labor. Because we can see plastic लाने वाला boy, yes, it's a direct labor. But accountant we can't see in this pen, accountant. Okay, so these are the indirect labor and direct labor. Okay, okay, next one is indirect expenses. What is the indirect expense? Expenses जो directly connect नहीं होते हैं. ये पेन के लिए प्लास्टिक लाया तो हमें समझ में आया कि प्लास्टिक के लिए expenses हुआ. But what is the indirect expenses? रखेंगे कहाँ ये पेन या प्लास्टिक, right? So rent, factory rent, yes, definitely factory rent is our indirect expenses. Utilities, employees wages, employee तो लगे, it's a direct labor, but employee का wages ये होता है आपका indirect expenses. Okay, auto parts, office suppliers, transporting auto parts. After that, legal fees, insurance का insurance इस पे इनमें दिखाई देता है नहीं, जैसे accountant नहीं दिखाई देता तो उसे insurance भी नहीं दिखाई देता है. तो rent, insurance, audit fees, all these are the indirect expenses to make this product better, to make our final product better. So indirect expenses are also important. It means what we learn up to now, elements of cost. Okay, up to now we learn material cost. What in material cost there are two parts: direct material and indirect material. Direct material we know plastic. Indirect material, yes, we know the some gloves and helmets. It's an indirect material we want. Labor cost also have a two parts: direct labor and indirect labor. Indirect labor, factory workers, right? Understood? Indirect labor, accountant, salesmen, understood? We learned before right now. Expenses have also two parts: direct expenses, indirect expenses. Indirect expenses, what is what we want, and indirect expenses, rent, insurance. Remember, and now you can see these arrows: direct, indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses come together, and we understand the overhead. It means overhead. What is the meaning of overhead? It's an aggregate total of indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses. इन सबके टोटल बना के होता है आपका overhead. Okay, now see the next one is what is the definition of overheads. I hope you understand the meaning of overheads. Okay, I hope this is very clear, and I request you please write the definition of each and everything. Use the simple word definition, no problem, but write it correctly. First one, WWB. It's a very simple definition. All indirect costs are termed as a overhead. जो indirect cost होते हैं ना, वो होता है आपका overheads. Okay, overheads. What is the meaning of overheads now? Indirect labor, indirect material, indirect expenses. Total of all these, aggregate of all these. Okay, I hope this definition is very clear. Now the second one is Certified Institute of Management Accountant, London. What they give us overhead definition is: overhead is an aggregate of indirect material, indirect wages and indirect labor. Same definition we use here. Okay, please write this definition. It gives weightage to your answer. It gives weightage to your short notes. I hope meaning is clear, definition is clear. Now see what is the features of overhead expenses. Okay, first one, they are common cost. Yes, definitely common cost is there for the overheads. इट कंप्राइज ऑफ बोथ कैश एक्सपेंसेस. कैश एक्सपेंसेस वो क्या होता है, जिसे हम कैश में एक्सपेंस करते हैं ना, पैसे देके, वो होते हैं कैश एक्सपेंस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल रेंट, टैक्सेस, इंश्योरेंस, पैसा देते हैं ना हम लोग उसके लिए, तो पैसा देते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली वो होता है कैश एक्सपेंसेस. इट्स अ कंपैरिजन. ओवरहेड इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ कैश एक्सपेंसेस एंड नॉन कैश एक्सपेंसेस. नॉन कैश एक्सपेंसेस का डेप्रिसिएशन, राइट. डेप्रिसिएशन भी तो एक्सपेंसेस होता है, बट it's a non-cash expenses. Now the third one is overhead consists of both production and non-production expenses. Overhead क्या होता है, क्या सिर्फ ऑफिस के लिए यूज हुआ तो वो प्रोडक्शन में यूज नहीं करेंगे क्या? नहीं, डेफिनेटली यूज करेंगे. क्यों नहीं करेंगे? अकाउंटेंट सैलरी, अकाउंटेंट सिट इन द ऑफिस, ऑब्वियसली ऑफिस की लाइटिंग भी तो आती है उसमें. ओके, आई होप these features are very clear to you. It's a very simple overhead topic. Now see the examples of indirect expenses. Okay, first one is rent. You know, factory rent, office rent, that building rent or machinery rent, whatever is there, it's a overhead. Okay, now the second one is administrative cost. Administrative, it means office. Administration कहाँ पे होता है? ऑफिस में होता है. तो administrative cost means office cost. Okay, in cost sheet in TYBCOM we learn all these things. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट, ऑफिस कॉस्ट, वो होता है आपका ऑफिस का. ऑडिट फीस, लीगल फीस, एम्प्लॉय सैलरी एंड एंटरटेनमेंट कॉस्ट, ऑल दीज आर योर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट. ओके, द नेक्स्ट वन इज यूटिलिटीज. क्या क्या यूटिलिटी हम लोग यूज करते हैं इन द फैक्ट्री? वी वांट ऑयल, वाटर, गैस, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, इंटरनेट, स्वेयर एंड द फोन एंड सर्विसेज. ऑल दीज यूटिलिटीज definitely comes under the overheads. Okay, and the next one is insurance. Insurance, what type of insurance we have? Health insurance, home insurance, renters insurance, flood insurance, life insurance. All these are the direct cost or indirect cost? Definitely it's a indirect cost. Just think about that. Overhead, it's a indirect cost. Whatever is that, it's a indirect. Okay, after that sales and marketing. फिनिश प्रोडक्ट तो बना, फाइनल प्रोडक्ट अपना बन चुका है, तो डेफिनेटली हमें उसको मार्केट में लॉन्च करना है. फॉर लॉन्चिंग सेल्समैन एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. पेड एडवर्टाइजिंग, इज इट डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट और इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट? डेफिनेटली इट्स अ इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट. इट मीन इट्स अ ओवरहेड. एडवर्टाइजिंग इज अ ओवरहेड्स. ओके, wages of the sales people, wages, salary of the sales people is also there, so it's a indirect cost. It's a overheads. Okay, commission for sales staff, yes, it's a indirect. Sixth one is repair and maintenance of the motor vehicles, machinery. Obviously machinery है तो repairing, maintenance तो लगेगा. So is it a direct or indirect cost? It's a indirect cost. It means it's our overheads. Okay, come on, come once again. In short, we can see what we learned today. Overhead expenses means first one is your rent, human resources. Rent, it means factory rent, office rent, human resources, workers, office suppliers, repairs and maintenance. Just now we explained, we understand what is the meaning of repairs and maintenance. Okay, taxes, it's very important. It's a cash expenses or indirect expenses? Tell me. It's a cash expenses. It's not a non-cash expenses. पैसा पे करते हैं हम लोग उसे. Okay, accounting, yes, definitely. Insurance is our direct or indirect? It's a indirect expenses. Utility, light bill, phone bill is all our indirect expenses. Okay, overall, all these are the indirect expenses. Thank you.